I will buy the
I've
DVD.
legit been trying to think of the cringiest thing I ever saw, and I think I've nailed it down.
Oh, please tell.
Lunatics Unleashed.
Oh!
Doesn't even ring a bell. Let's look into it in the post.
You don't want to.
Oh, we
Yes,
will.
you do.
And for now,
you don't want to.
hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDCast. ANY and Keyframe wonder about random dribble. And today with us, Aficionados Chris. Welcome to the show.
That is the worst pronunciation of aficionados.
Wow, aficionados. This was awkward.
You know, I took time to watch the instructional video on how to be on this show, and you couldn't even be bothered to learn how to pronounce my username.
Aficionados?
No, that's
Aficionados.
Aficionados. Close.
Chris.
There we go.
Yes.
Hey, Chris.
That's what it was.
Chris, welcome to the show.
Who are
Glad
you
to
and why
be
should
here.
we care?
Yeah.
I am a YouTube review guy. I do those things that no one watches anymore.
Yeah, you review Blu-rays and stuff, right?
I do. I guess that you'd say that's my main niche, my draw.
Yeah. So
You should watch.
yes. So what have you been up to?
Is this awkward enough?
Yes,
This is
you're
pretty
doing
awkward.
great. So what have you been doing this week, or any fun life anecdotes you want to share with the class?
Oh, well, I came back from hiatus. That's the main thing that's happened in the past couple weeks.
Well, that's great. You were on the East Coast for a little while, weren't you?
Oh god, that was months ago actually when I was on the East Coast. I was in California a couple weeks ago.
Wait, what? Why were you in California and you didn't tell me?
Well, first of all, I was in Visalia, which is about 3 hours away from where you are.
Uh-huh.
Because I was.
I see how it is.
Well, first of all, I was there shooting the Midnight's Haunted Drive-In with Joey Hollywood. That was the main reason I was there. You don't remember that's that puppet show he's doing.
Oh yeah, I know that. I thought that you were on the East Coast for that. Oh wait, no, you were on the East Coast for family. I forget that.
I was on the East Coast for Too Many Games, and then
Yeah.
I left Too Many Games to go visit family for 2 weeks. I've been traveling a bit, yeah, but that's the problem is that nothing interesting really happened this week. It's been the past weeks where I actually did
But,
shit.
well, yeah, to talk about
I mean,
it.
you
That's why I
have
said
you have the
life-
great benefit
life
that
anecdotes.
you're not on the show every week, so you have a little wider
That's
spectrum
true, that's
to
true.
draw from.
Yeah.
For us, it's
Well,
always like, yeah, what have you done since last Sunday? So we rely on you to bring the interesting stuff to this segment
Please
of the show.
help
Well, I
us.
did see one of my current favorite movies of the year, which is Christopher Robin, which if you haven't seen, everyone should go see. Is it out in Germany yet?
It is. I actually saw it
All right.
on the cinema earlier. But yeah, we might have watched something else today.
I know Golden went to go see it, and he said he cried in the movie theater like 4 times watching it.
I cried, and then something. Okay, I have not told this story anywhere,
Oh.
so you'll be the first.
Awkward
Okay.
exclusive.
This is the epitome of awkward. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so I went to see Chris Robin. It was actually my first time using the AMC A-list. It's kind of like their Movie Pass thing.
But not sucky.
Well, as we know that Movie Pass sucks now, so I moved on to A-list, which is a better service in my eyes. Not a sponsor, but it could be. But anyway, so I went to the movie theater. Let me try to remember. The exact point in the movie is when Winnie the Pooh goes through the door and ends up in London.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, as that was happening...
Do we have to put up a
An
spoiler
old-
warning?
No.
Okay.
They show it. They show it in the trailer too.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, what I'm talking about is not the movie, it's what happened in the theater.
Okay.
Which has I've heard stories of people like, oh, the projector burned out or the sound was like, I've heard all these stories of theater hiccups, and I've never had an experience like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now I could say I've had a very interesting theater experience because a guy had a heart attack in the theater.
Oh boy.
Here's the thing, it's okay to laugh. He's okay. He survived. I wouldn't tell the story otherwise if there was a sad ending to it. But so during the movie, at that particular scene, there was this woman like yelling a guy's name, and I went, "What the hell's going on?" And I looked; it's several rows down because I sit in the way back to get a full view. Several rows down, a guy was having what I assume was a heart attack or maybe a stroke. He was having some kind of like he was unconscious and he wasn't waking up. So they turned on the lights. They actually paused the film, which I've never seen happen. So they actually like paused the movie, and like a bunch of ushers came in to like get the guy out of his chair, lay him down. Like there's a whole thing. I think it took up like 20 minutes till finally like some paramedics came, gave him the not the respirator, but the whatever the gas mask thing is.
Yeah.
And so the good news was they did successfully get him to breathe and get up, and like he was fine and everything. He had to be escorted out, obviously, to the nearest hospital.
I hope he got a refund on the ticket.
No. This was the other thing, is that this poor woman, like the employee, who I could tell by her look that this has never happened in the years that she's worked there. She's like, okay, if this is too much for any of you, you are welcome to leave, and we will give you a free alternate showing of the movie. And I'm just sitting here like, I want to see where this goes.
I'm just imagining you sitting in the theater, like peeking up, seeing what's going on, and just as the EMTs are coming in, you're just kind of sitting with your popcorn running, Winnie the Pooh.
Thankfully,
Pooh.
thankfully I didn't have any food. That would have been it. But the best part about it
will he survive? Will he die
well,
right here and now?
He did survive.
More.
He did survive. That's the best part. Sort of like
tuned.
the great punchline to the story.
Oh, yes.
The guy was good. The paramedics came. They put him on one of those like it wasn't a wheel bed. It was like it almost looked like one of those things you used to carry boxes when you're moving stock in a warehouse. Yeah. Like they put him on a dolly or something to wheel him out. And bless this man's soul. Because a thing that the people kept saying is, we're sorry this is taking up the movie, and everyone was like, no, this is more important.
Yeah, it is, kind of.
Yeah, I can't believe, like, why do you have to apologize for pausing entertainment when a guy could be dying in the theater? But the guy who was as he was being wheeled out, he went, sorry, everyone! And he just...
What can I say? This movie's to die for.
It was too cute for my heart.
To me, it was like, the movie's pretty depressing, but I don't know if I'd ever want to watch this movie again if this guy just fucking died.
That sounds like a curse, like the 7 days thing from The Ring, but it's Winnie the Pooh.
I think someone's asking what was the cause. I don't know. I just say heart attack for generalization. I don't know what he actually
his
saw.
His Tigger stopped bouncing and he fell to the floor.
It's actually appropriate. I'm wearing my Pooh shirt as we talk about this.
Aww. But yeah, every screening of Winnie the Pooh now has to come with a warning, like if you have a weak heart, don't watch.
Every screening of Winnie the Pooh comes with a respirator built into the seat.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what if it's like Cabin in the Woods where it's like the curse, it has to happen every year, but it's like just one guy.
It has to happen every year.
Or else the Pooh Bear is gonna rise up and take from his Christopher Robin.
So that was my experience watching Christopher Robin in a theater.
Yeah.
Watching a guy suffer some kind of health problem, which I will just say was a heart attack for convenience, because I don't know what it was. I never inquired about it because it's not my business.
Maybe he just didn't enjoy the movie and found a quick way out.
Or again, it was so heavy to take in, his heart couldn't take it.
My childhood. What if he was Christopher Robin?
Oh my.
Otherwise, the screening was great. Like, I've never seen this happen much. Like, but mostly in the movies where you expect it. But like when the movie ended, there was a huge applause from the audience. And it was like, that's not the movie that I would expect that from. But it was great that happened.
I mean, there was that experience that we had when we went to see Incredibles 2, where the Teen Titans Go to the Movie trailer was playing. You could feel the audience being like, and then the Winnie the Pooh thing started with Christopher Robin, and you heard the entire audience go like, oh.
That was a great, like, and the thing is, I saw both movies. I did actually see Teen Titans Go as well, which I actually didn't hate.
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
Still not on Germany. We'll definitively pick it up when it comes.
Here's the thing. It's good. It's not great. Like, I know it's got, like, a high tomato meter or something, and it's like, it's good. it is funny. I just don't think it's like amazing or anything. I'd say it's better than the show in that I actually laughed quite a lot.
I just wanted to say, saying it's better than the show is not the best
I know that's a
advertisement.
very easy feat.
Yeah, but
because
I also heard
because it bears the name, I think it's somewhat justified, and I can say it is better than the show in that the movie was actually funny.
which
Like,
is
I did
already,
actually laugh.
Yeah. But yeah, once it comes out in Germany, it will probably. I mean, which reminds me, you have not yet told me your media for this show, so
we'll get to that once
we get to that. You can think about it.
But before we move on, you were talking about that you are part of Joey's show. Do you want to plug anything for that? Since
Yes, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, Joey Hollywood Films, because we don't have a date. Obviously, we shot 2 episodes worth of bit. Well, I guess they probably want more what the hell it is. So
Yeah,
if you've ever seen
give us a pitch.
Mystery Science Theater,
Yes.
mixed with this might be past your particular country, but mixed with stuff like Elvira's Movie Macabre and Svengoolie, all those kind of horror host type shows that I'm sure you've seen spoofed in like other programs. So sort of a combination of that. The idea is that Joey plays. What do we got there?
he looked up Joey's channel.
Oh, good.
Can I share it? Wait, there. No, there.
I think we do have. Yeah, we do have that.
I see
So
puppets.
you can share that.
Yeah,
I'm actually.
you can tell which puppet he probably plays.
Well, because I sit next to it.
Idea with puppets and so the idea is to riff talk movies or look at that handsome face.
Oh yeah, Bud's
Man,
very handsome.
Your hair is so fluffy.
Oh, I want you.
Fluffy, I got an eye.
Come down and shoot it
I want to see an interview where your hair just gets progressively bigger with every time it cuts back.
I have like that Nicolas Cage owl hair growing.
But yeah, so Jolly Hollywood Films. Everybody check it out. Link in the description down below.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we do not have an exact date. We're hoping sometime 2019 to at least release the first episode, because we shot 2 episodes worth of footage. But we're predominantly going to be working on the first episode and get that out while we try and figure out the rest of the season.
That is good. Max, how has your week been?
How has my week been? As always, usually uneventful.
Hooray!
But I had a small event. So for continuous viewers of the show, you might remember my adventures a few weeks ago when my bike broke. And I went to this German bike shop around the corner. And they were like, changing your tire. Yeah, we have to see if we can find a schedule. So maybe, we should be able to give it back to you before Saturday. Excuse me, I was more like looking for somebody fixing it right now so I can continue driving. I mean, maybe it doesn't take the Saturday, but maybe tonight or whatever. I'm like, maybe if maybe I come back, maybe. So basically,
Spoiler, you didn't.
Spoiler, I didn't. I basically was like, fuck you. What I ended up doing was like pumping the tire up 3 times while rolling all the way to work, because I know there's a little bike shop around the corner from work, which is run by some more Eastern European fellows. It's down in the basement and they prefer cash payment, this kind of store. And I came in there and was like, hey, here, tire. And they're like, yeah, sure, put it on the stand. His assistant instantly starts exchanging stuff. He even sold me unflattable tires on top of it. And I was like...
Okay, so what's the continuation of
So what is the continuation of this story where I was like, where the final result was like, yeah, I prefer my black market Arabian salesman when it comes to my bike. So this week I was driving home and suddenly I hear whitting. I keep driving and I feel like there is no resistance in my pedals anymore.
Oh no!
And I look down and I'm like, there's something missing on my bike. I drive.
Did your chain fall off?
I drive to the right and a guy just passes by, slows a little bit. Yeah, like 100 meters back there. turning around, pushing my bike all the way back, and yeah, the chain snapped halfway on my way home, and I'm like, wait, I did just pass a bike shop. Let's do it. So going back there, a completely German-run bike shop, and I'm like, well, let's see. Better like, hey guys, can you do something? Can you change just snapped more or less right in front of your guy's shop? Can you fix it? He's like, well, sure, bring it in. Takes it, goes back to the working area, and I'm already like, okay, pulling out my credit card. This whatever it costs, I have to basically do it because I need to drive home. And while I can change a tire when it comes down to it, I cannot change a chain. So yeah, whatever it will cost, I'll probably change it spontaneously without any schedule, fixing it, putting it back out, and I'm already holding my breath because in the meantime I was browsing the store and I found some nice saddlebags for like 80 euros, and I'm like, those are really nice, but and I actually want to have saddlebags, so I was like, let us first see what happens, and I'm already like, okay, he types in the price on the computer, I'm like, credit card already in fingers, $750. Sure, here, have cash. Like, so to restore, so the final line of this story is to restore the honor of German-run bike shops. Yeah, there are good ones as well. And this particular one, I basically left the shop with the words like, yeah, if my bike snaps again, I hope it will be in front of your store again.
See you soon.
Yeah, so absolutely, like the material and the work, and without scheduling anything for $750, like, wow, no complaints on my end whatsoever. So there are good German bike shops after all.
Your life is so eventful.
I know, right? This is the biggest event of my week. I mean,
I just love that you described, oh, this bike feels funny. It's like, I would probably notice if the chain was gone. There's a very distinct
You overestimate
difference.
his observation abilities.
No.
But I love, because I've had chains break on me before, and it's just like, I think the chain just broke because all I hear is.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I
But you didn't think you'd be the one like driving the car. It's making a funny sound. That's odd.
no, it was
Maybe
like,
you should check the funny sound.
Well, it snapped, and the resistance instantly was gone. But then I looked down, and then I needed to slow down. I drive not the most safe.
You are a
speed.
safety hazard to everyone around you.
Yeah, so it probably only was 5 seconds until I stood, but it still was 100 meters down the road. So
Didn't you almost get run over by one of your coworkers once?
twice, and I mean, he braked, and all he did was pouring coffee over his his stuff in the car. Then again, who is drinking coffee in the car? So the fault is on him.
Quite a lot of people, actually.
Obviously not well secured coffee. But yeah, this was probably really the highlight of my week. Did I do anything else? No, it was a pretty nice regular week. I did 4 times workouts this week. It is very sad that this justifies an applause, because I believe this is the first time where I did all 4 days since I restarted my workout. There was always something that came in between at least one day. Yeah, I did that. Did I watch anything that I can talk about? This is not in my media. Oh, I rediscovered Fallout New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Or did I mention this last week?
I think you've said it.
Damn it. Well, and more.
If he's passionate, he'll bring it up.
Yeah. And then I over the week I mostly then stuck with Dead Cells and more Terraria. Yay! But yeah, this was my week. Keyframe, did anything happen in your week? I mean, last time I saw you, you were up there in the window.
And now I'm here. Hi.
Hi.
I travel too much.
You do.
I do.
A detriment to a lot of us.
Yeah. No, okay, let me just say, I had a great conversation with good old Mama Frame talking about, my whole family hates the fact that I travel overseas. They all absolutely despise it, because I think they still think I'm 5 years old.
I think they're envious.
He thinks they're envious. I know my dad was, but my mom called me and she's like, okay, so when do you fly out and all this? And I was like, yeah, so-and-so, 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 I won't be able to talk to you. Okay, so remember to keep your drinks covered and by your side at all times. Don't go into dark alleyways. Look both ways. Stay in public places. I was like, Mom, why would I go down a dark alleyway? And she's like, I don't know you, Christine. You could go down one.
You're making your mother sound Jewish.
She does sound Jewish, though.
Is she?
No, she's Irish, but she came from the Bronx. But she would list it off like 20 different things of like, stay in public places. I don't trust your friends. Okay, I love you. Bye. And I'm like,
thanks, Mama K.
No, and in the same breath of all this stuff, she was looking at pictures from London, and she was like, so this is your friend Max that you hang out with. It was like a picture of me cosplayed as Polly from Monster Prom, and him as Star-Lord. And I was like, yeah, hot damn, he's handsome. Make sure you tell him that your mom thinks he's handsome. By the way, I don't trust any of your friends. Keep an eye on him. Bye. I'm like, I don't want you to become a Criminal Minds episode. And I'm like, of course.
I mean,
I love the mixed signals. Like, your friend is so attractive. Don't trust him.
Doesn't that sound like a mom that grew up in the 60s? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, so that was great. But let me tell you, the Chrissy's air travel adventures.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Well,
you travel too much.
I do. But no, see, for one thing, I had a very fragile item in my carry-on bag, in my like personal item bag.
That was your first problem.
Ooh, that is a thing I probably could mention. Yeah, this week.
Yeah, this was the fragile item.
Yeah. Because
you say was.
Good thing that it came with extra parts.
Indeed. No, this is. I mean, I can just display it while you tell the story.
Oh yeah, so his birthday is like the week after I leave, so I wouldn't be here for his birthday. Plus, he has to probably work on his birthday too.
Even so it's a weekend.
Yeah, but
that's my life.
So I was like, well, I might as well get him a birthday present early because I did the same thing last year. For BronyCon, I got him the necklace of his cutie mark. So I was like, what's a thing I can get him? So I got Hiccups Does Art to do the artwork of this. It's his first Sona dressed up as Star-Lord.
I got that much out of it.
And the base is his cutie mark.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice acrylic standee.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hope he likes it. That was my biggest fear. But back to the plane. I have this personal item bag, and I'm on a window seat with two French people who don't know personal space and brought like giant jugs of water and everything. And I'm just like, please don't step on my bag. And I was constantly checking, being like, okay, it's still there. Looking at, and I think they were weirded out because I had it gift wrapped and I'm constantly opening the gift wrapping to be like, okay, it's still in one piece. But anyway, this was, compared to all my other flights, uneventful. I had a layover in Munich, which apparently is where all the rich people live.
Among other things that happened there.
Yeah, because you'd be better with her Twitter.
Am I?
Yeah,
but yeah, Hiccup Does Art, obviously, in the description down below.
But like,
apparently the Twitter, not the DA.
Yeah, but like, because I was walking through, and airport stores confuse me a lot because they always have like suit stores and clothing stores, and I'm like, who is buying this stuff at the airport?
Well, in the event that they lose your luggage and you need to be at a meeting.
That's just a conspiracy theory right there. But,
no, that just makes sense.
But no, this place had 3 separate jewelry stores, like just jewelry, diamonds and shit, and I'm like, and these aren't like K jewelers. These are like just really fancy ass stores. Some of these things for like €1,000. And I'm like, why? I messaged him being...
Wow, a whole $10.
Yeah, I messaged him being like, why are there 3 jewelry stores at this airport? And he's like, it's Munich.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'm stuck here for 2.5 hours. oh look, a place that sells wine. So I went to this food place. I ordered. This is a two-part story here. I ordered chocolate mousse and a glass of wine. A glass of red wine. It looked super fancy and everything. And she was like, oh, that pairs really nicely with each other. And then I pulled a bottle of Fanta out from the little cooler and I was like, I also want this. And she gave me the dirtiest look, like I offended her kind. And I'm like, it's for the plane? And she's like, uh-huh. $17.50. And I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting down eating the mousse and drinking the wine. And then this waiter comes by with like a giant glass of wine, just puts it on my table and walks away. I only bought one glass and I'm like, I can't waste it. My flight board's in 15 minutes.
It's either the wine or me. One of those two has to get wasted.
But yeah, I want to point out in this picture, that was the first glass of wine. Now imagine that almost filled to the top. That was the second glass.
Which is not normal. It's red wine. Red wine doesn't come in a full glass. At least not in a civilized country like in Europe. I mean.
But so like when I got, and by the way, everyone's like, oh, a lot of people have a few drinks before they get on the plane to calm their nerves. I don't know how, because I was buzzed when I went on the plane, and I felt like there was less air. Because I was just lightheaded. I was like, oh, God.
Yes, this is called having a buzz.
I can feel the lack of air pressure in this cabin. It was great.
Don't like some people drink to cope with flying?
No, that's the thing. I was like, I don't get it. I didn't feel good after that.
This didn't feel relaxing at all.
So I did the responsible thing and drank like 3 more glasses when I got here when we were watching Mission Impossible 5,
I believe. Rogue Nation.
Yeah, Rogue Nation, not Fallout.
Rogue Nation. Yeah, because the recent one is 6.
Yeah, Fallout is 6. Which, let's move to the media. I know how to do segues.
Yeah, because we watched Fallout Rogue Nation yesterday to go to the cinema today to watch Fallout.
Because everyone's been saying great things about this movie.
Wait, whose media is this? I forgot again.
Mine.
Yours. Okay, yours.
Because you wanted to talk about D.
Woohoo!
Yeah, but like, yeah, everyone's been saying great things about this movie, being like, it's such a penultimate action movie, the best Mission Impossible. I Hate Everything was like, this is so good, and I'm like, okay, I'm now morbidly curious. And we watched the 5th one because apparently it's better if you know the backstory of the 5th one.
And in hindsight, yes, I can confirm.
In hindsight,
If you haven't seen Rogue Nation, the 5th one, and you also haven't seen Fallout yet, but you intend to, get Rogue Nation first. Rent it at the DVD store, whatever, because yes, they are continuous storyline.
Yeah. And my verdict of this movie that everyone's saying is amazing is, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Good action.
It had good action.
It was, thankfully, it was no Mission Impossible 2.
Oh, yeah. But it was like, it had good action. Henry Cavill gave a really good performance. I think he was in this movie to be like, I need to show people that I'm better than Superman. Please.
I can do more than...
When I have this mustache, I am a better being. But it was good. The action was always good, always great.
For fuck's sake, he had a trench coat waving in the air behind him, look cooler than the Superman cape.
Yep.
He can if
Simon
he wants to.
Simon Pegg, of course, stole the show. I'm not going to say the context of this complaint, but there are so many logic leaps in this fucking movie, but every Mission Impossible movie has the logic leaps of, okay, you should be dead. Your kneecap should be broken. But you start to accept the suspension of disbelief.
Oh.
Until a character dies from just being stabbed in the side.
With a knife.
With a knife.
You saw the knife. It was like this long.
Yeah, by a dagger. A letter opener.
I love that you actually had a weapon as you said that.
Whoa.
But a letter opener. And it's like... And it's treated as like such a dramatic death, and I'm like, this is the same movie where people are getting hung, drowned in armored vehicles that get crashed into the water.
survive how many crashes of driving, flying, and otherwise moving vehicles?
There's a scene where Tom Cruise jumps out of a which can be from any Mission Impossible movie, but he jumps out of a window onto like, you know, a roof that's down below.
And he doesn't even do the roll.
He doesn't do a tuck and roll.
But he just like
he does essentially a lesser version of the superhero landing.
I like to imagine that when Tom Cruise is home, he doesn't like go out the door. He just goes through windows all the time. Oh, the mail's here.
Hey Steve, how's the kids? But like, but no, and I just leaned over to Max and whispered, his knees should be broken. And it was just, see, here's the thing about Mission Impossible 5 that we noticed. There's a ludicrous amount of attention to detail in certain things.
Which they wouldn't have done in older ones.
Like for one thing, you know how like spies go down a rope and you're like, okay, his hand should be burned to shit. No, he took his tie, wrapped it around his palm so it doesn't get burned. The woman takes off her high heels to do a chase. Like a lot of this stuff makes sense, and here no, they didn't do anything that.
I feel like there's a counterbalance to like. Because, I mean, I think everyone knows that Tom Cruise does all his own stunts. Uh-huh. Even, like, the ones that I'm like, you are going to die.
There's a scene in this movie where there's a time limit. Let's just say there's a time limit. And,
right.
And you see him climbing up a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
The way he was climbing up it looked like, no, something should be blowing up right now. Because it said, like, a minute. And he's climbing up this thing like, okay, let me find my footing.
But, okay. Here's the funny thing when you start talking about this scene. I was thinking, like, this scene looked like he was on a normal climbing wall with those grip thingies, which was green, and then they projected him on the wall because he found grip instantly, far too strong with feet and hand on an otherwise solid-looking wall. Like, no way.
Yeah, but you know, despite my complaints, it's a Mission Impossible movie. Also,
well, the thing is, like, it's still just a movie. You gotta.
Yeah. Also, most of his stunts and how he got with things is like subtly pointing out the fact of how short Tom Cruise is. Like he was climbing up a rope.
He's not that short.
Oh,
For an action movie star, he's pretty short.
He's a tiny little Tommy boy.
He's 5'8".
Well, yeah, but when you put him against Henry Cavill, who's like 6'3",
and you still have this thing. So he has a scene with this one woman where he stands face to face with her, and she needs to look up to him, and it's like, oh god, they are still using plateau shoes for him.
Yeah, but you know what? It's a good popcorn movie. I would say even the fifth one was a good popcorn flick. So. Go see it. Preferably, go see it with a friend so you guys can be like
a little bit riffing on it.
Little silent riffs. But that was my media. Mission Impossible. I hope you don't like Alec Baldwin. You.
Chris.
You're gonna curveball to me.
Yeah, I'm too afraid to say the first part of your name again.
Aficionados. Close
Chris.
You're adding an Oz to the end of it. It's aficionados.
Aficionados.
Aficionadas.
The thing is, it's not even the worst mispronunciation or even like misspelling. I've seen people put extra F's in there that are like, do you own a dictionary?
A fucking natto.
A fucking natto.
Oh no.
But yeah, do you have a medium or should I buy you more time?
You should buy me some time.
Okay, I buy you some time.
Yeah.
Apparently, Unirob made a song for us.
Ooh, boy.
He messaged you on Discord for it.
How about that?
How about that? Is this a
question
theme?
It's for question
time.
time.
So we will just use it later when the question part arrives
so
and see it then.
Thank you, Rob.
Live in action. Yeah, thank you a lot, bro. I do believe we talked about it before on the show. Mm-hmm. But damn it.
I think we talked about like the pilot, like the beginning of
it. It could be. I'm pretty sure we talked about it before, but since the first season just ended with a big finale, let's talk about it again.
Woo! The episode
And it's finally something I've
before
actually
the
seen
finale.
and am caught up on.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to talk in detail about the finale, about any development plot-wise of the show. But yeah, since the show is now ended and it's more than the first impression we could talk about a year ago after BC, when we all saw the opening, I would still say the show holds amazingly well up. I mean, you have a few episodes that are weaker, you have other episodes that are stronger. Wow, this describes basically every show on the planet.
But it's one of the best reboots.
Yes, when it comes to a reboot, pretty amazing. I mean, it was you who said yesterday, like, anybody who still claims that the original was better, fight me.
No, I was
Her
like,
words?
no, I said, if someone says that
you-
it's objectively better, like the original's objectively better, you are objectively wrong.
Fighting word.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I mean-
It was like the big thing about the reboot that I loved, and I hope Key also knows this. What I appreciate about the aesthetic of the show is that it's paying more tribute to the original Carl Barks comics of Uncle Scrooge and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially with because I know a lot of people complain like, why is Scrooge's robe red? Because it's red in the comic books.
Yeah, I mean,
The blue was for the show.
Yeah, and even the opening theme, like a lot of the set pieces, like the set piece for this one is based off concept art and stuff from like painting.
Well, they even go as far as like with the little printing style of a comic book and the panels and things. So it's very, it's not even really on the nose. It's pretty apparent. Like, look, we really love the Carl Barks comics, and we're paying more tribute to that than, say, Disney afternoon stuff. Although there's plenty of that fan service, if you notice.
Yeah, we were talking about that, being like,
yes,
this
is
show.
Like, throughout the show we have so many callbacks to other shows where it's like, are you guys just teasing us and leaving us blue balled, or do you have more reboots ready to
I kind of
go?
hope not.
Are you making a shared at least
feelings.
with Darkwing Duck? Can we have a shared universe?
Yeah, because
Well, I think they're implying that.
I mean, Darkwing Ducks actually will be. I didn't want to go into spoiler, but it really get handled as a side note anyway. So maybe pulling this tooth early on before you go with too much expectations into it. They explain it's once again just a side note. They explain that Darkwing Duck is a show existing in universe, so it's a show within
the
DuckTales. So. I mean, they still can pull off the twist, like, haha, it's a show, but there is also a real Darkwing Duck based on it. But yeah, they kind of, the way they approach this setup, if they pull this twist out of their ass, they have to do extra work to make up for this fake out early on.
I mean,
I think the implication is that they're obviously going to have Darkwing Duck in the show as a character, especially since they made a goddamn toy of him in one of the play sets.
Yeah,
so there's clearly something we don't know.
Currently,
so maybe,
doesn't look like it.
Maybe what they'll do, and this is just a theory, is maybe they'll have, like, because they state, the actor of Darkwing is a really disillusioned guy, not disillusioned, a very
I know where you're going with this, and I love it.
He's a neurotic guy that actually believes he's a superhero and takes Launchpad under his wing, and Launchpad has to kind of be the one to be like,
wasn't this an actual Darkwing Duck episode where there is a fictional superhero who eventually believes he's a real or was this Kim Possible? I'm pretty sure that I know that
Miraculous Ladybug had an episode like that.
Yeah, but that was still all about akumatizing
It's
somebody.
a very old trope.
It's a common trope, but it's it can be done if it's done nicely. I will. I mean, your approach is probably better than the
it's
actor
one that's
going
actually
insane.
believable
Yeah,
for this
the
show.
actor going insane and the gadgets have just been real the entire time. The props from the show. I can see this one work better than, for example, being like, hey, it's an in-universe show. Ho, but it was based on a real character the entire time. That direction I would really be critical about. I mean, they still might be able to pull it off, but
They could do this kind of episode and then premiere it at the next San Diego Comic-Con. Like, it's one of those kind of episodes.
Yeah, but
they're gonna want to hype stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, constant callbacks to other shows. I mean, there was a very blunt callback to Gummy Bears in one episode.
I loved that one.
Super directly. Not even sugarcoating it at all. It's like, hey, here. You recognize they don't name them as such, but they show it so obvious.
Jumping here and there and everywhere.
Oh yeah, they actually say the lyrics. They actually say out the lyrics in the episode. Then of course mentioning of what's the name from the city of Tailspin. I forgot it. They mentioned this multiple times. Something Paradise Haven. I don't know. Whatever. They mentioned the city from. Spintails,
the evil organizations from.
Oh
Darkland.
yeah. Then at some point, Foul as well as Shush get not just get named, but are
existing.
They mentioned Spoonerville in the first episode, which is the town from Goof Troop.
Ooh, okay. This one I didn't know because only saw it on German.
And also in one of the Gizmo Duck episodes, they had the Mighty Ducks mask. Out of all the Disney afternoon shows to reference, Mighty Ducks.
But yeah, references aside, maybe a word about characters. Because yeah, what I said back in the beginning, I still hold true to it. Big fan of the characters. Big fan of the changes they did to characters. Like, people were skeptical about the tough guy Wendy. And I kept a very close eye on it, like, is she the overpowered 21st century girl? No, she actually often enough works in tandem with everybody else. It's not like she constantly saves the day, so that's just paranoia.
And the difference is her overpoweredness makes sense when you know who her grandmother is.
Also. Yeah, then of course Miss Beakley, who from this grandmother got turned into tough as hell housekeeper. I'm loving it. The fact that they turned Huey, Dewey, and Louie into 3 separate characters with individual traits and not this hybrid mind of 3 entities, still loving it, still goes strong. And even the characters where I had a hard time to connect with in the beginning, they got their own character over time, and I love each of the 3 for themselves by now.
Can I just say, it's so good to have a show that actually points out how good of a guy Donald is in this show.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a moment in the finale, not going to say what it is, but it's basically like, yeah, Donald's a good guy, and it's just like, oh,
he is.
He had his
He's like, I relate to him the most because deep down he's got a heart, but he's also got a lot of anger.
Oh, he got anger. Then story, there is slightly tripling in. It's still a little bit episodic for most of the time, but there is still an ongoing arc that slowly builds up towards the finale, which is something I really like. There was another thought I wanted to mention about it. So, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, then episode before the finale, without saying anything, it ended, and both of us, because we caught up to it earlier today, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Breakfast TV.
This morning.
Yeah, and last episode for the finale, we both were like, oof, on the ending. It was like, wow.
The first word that came out of his mouth was oof, and then I went oof, and he was like, this is not an oof with 2 O's.
2 O's are not enough to express how oof this episode
This is not a Roblox oof.
No,
this is a...
This is a grown-up
ultra
oof.
This was like...
This is not your normal everyday oof. This is advanced oof.
Yeah, so this show can do actual fucking emotions. So
yeah.
Be aware.
David Tennant's just...
brilliant.
The voice acting in the show is just
I would think you'd be more gushing about Lin-Manuel Miranda's appearance.
Okay, I was holding it back because this is his media. But
I can see it in your eyes that you were holding back.
In every moment Fenton was on screen, I was just... I wasn't like I constantly had my hands to my cheeks being like, he's so cute. And he's just like, you're biased. And I'm like, yes, but he's also... He was just the perfect voice for that kind of character. Like, it didn't sound like, oh, this is just a celebrity voicing a character. He's a good example of a celebrity voicing a recurring character, because he actually has the awkwardness and the goofiness
if he can, because as someone who's not too familiar. Like, what I know about Hamilton is what you've told me about Hamilton as someone who's not seen the play or listened to the whole soundtrack. It was like, I don't have a bias towards him already because I just kind of barely know him. But I was like, I don't know who he is as a person, but he's playing a dork very, very well.
No, that's just Fenton is him. Like,
if you say so, I'll take you up on that.
He's a dorky dad in real life, and he's a dorky duck in the show. Yes.
Yeah. Also, one final thought I had about the show, except for watch it if you haven't already.
What's wrong with you if you haven't?
Exactly. Not really a spoiler. And if you're fucking purist who's like, but it's an old show, please grow up. If the new show cannot defeat the old show from your point of view, then you have nothing to be afraid of. And if the new show is better, it doesn't take away the old show. Just watch it. It's good. But yeah, one final thought, because, and this isn't a spoiler, since the mystery of the triplets' mother has been there from the pilot. It's one of the ongoing things. And yeah, as I said before, Della Duck was an actual... Can I zoom in more? Della Duck was treated as a mystery for the... Wait.
That's the dad.
That's the dad?
Della Duck. That's the mom.
Wait, were you trying to theorize that Della Duck isn't from the original?
No. Me and him were having an argument because I was pointing out this family tree, and I was like saying, yeah, the dad's never been stated, and he's like, no, she's never been stated, and he pointed out this tree, and I was like, no, the dad is the one that's obscured, and he was like, no, you're wrong, I'm right.
Let me Photoshop this image and get back to it in a moment. Well, what?
That is the most... I have never seen someone get owned so quickly. The only other time I can recall was when I destroyed... I saw that. When I destroyed somebody's argument before they could even make it about Chuck Norris not being cool. Well, like, you tried to start, and he was like, you know, I don't get the Chuck Norris meme. He's not that badass. And I went, that's the joke.
but yeah, that backfired horribly.
Clearly, and in front of everyone watching.
Chris, what's your media, whatever?
Honestly, just because it's the only thing, because I've been watching a lot of shows because I've been trying to catch up with everything I've missed. But the only thing that's still like fresh in my mind would be Christopher Robin, which we kind of talked about, but really I only talked about the guy
with the heart attack.
I talked about the guy. I didn't really talk too much about the movie.
Okay, so what did you think of the movie?
Well, I fucking loved it. Oh, and hey, there it is. God, I mean, I've sadly seen, because I'm like the movie guy. I've sadly not seen a lot of movies this year. For a while, Deadpool 2 was my favorite of the year, which I'll admit is because I'm slightly biased. But then, let's see, we saw Incredibles 2 together, Keyframe and I and a bunch of other DA Games members. And Christopher Robin was like one of 3 movies I even was like, I give a shit about to go out and see. Deadpool. And I already had like hype around it. I was so hyped that I kept making people watch the trailer.
Yeah, but then Deadpool 2 beat Infinity War for you?
I actually have not seen Infinity War.
Oh, okay. So this explains one competitor
that was
erased.
My point. It's like, because of the limited amount of movies I've actually seen, I don't have like an end-all be-all list.
But Chris, you didn't feel the writhing urge to go see Mamma Mia 2 in theaters?
You know, I genuinely forgot they even did that.
Well, you're welcome for reminding you. But what is your thoughts on Christopher Robin? Explain yourself.
It's amazing. It's because like I know for some reason it's getting mixed. Like it's labeled as mixed reception, and I don't understand it because I'm going to sound like a dick when I say if you do not smile or cry, you have no fucking soul.
Challenge accepted.
You've seen it already?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, I thought you said you saw it in the...
No, I saw it on the display.
Okay.
No, I saw that on the movie select screen for the cinema page.
I mean, there's not really a whole lot you can spoil about the movie because you kind of get what the plot of the movie is. Like, it's one of those, like, the trailer doesn't ruin the movie, but it's just that kind of movie where plot A goes into plot B, ends with plot C kind of thing. Yeah, but I think that's the thing is that I think a lot of the weird negative press is like, oh well, it's not groundbreaking. It doesn't have to be.
It's Winnie the Pooh.
Well, yes, but I think there's like it's not Where the Wild Things Are, but I guess it's like Diet Where the Wild Things Are, because Where the Wild Things Are is like extremely existential and horribly depressing. It's a good movie though. But Christopher Robin is like because it's by the same guy who did Finding Neverland, so it's a guy who's very used to kind of doing like melodramatic-y kind of, not really Hallmark, but like those kind of sappy dramas, but like the quality sappy dramas. Mm-hmm. You ever seen Finding Neverland?
I've seen Finding Neverland.
I feel like you had.
Of course.
It just feels like something you would have seen.
Yeah.
But no, oh my God, it's just. I mean, I genuinely cried, and I don't cry watching a lot of movies, and I can't even say which part because it's bordering on a spoiler. The scene's in the trailer, but the context I can't.
We do have a spoiler alarm here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Ta-da!
Oh, look at that!
So now people can
look at that compressed GIF right there.
I needed to have a really cheap GIF.
All his doing claps for Max.
Which reminds me, I need to update the spoiler alarm for the other view. But yeah.
No, like I think because in the trailer, like a main theme of the movie is like growing up and forgetting about your past and your childhood. Like the movie has a very to me a very wonderful, like as someone who's like you're the right age to see this movie because we're all adults now. Like some of us
talk for the best way.
Well, to me, when I saw the movie, I said, this is doing what Toy Story 3 did for me, because I was 20-something when Toy Story 3 came out, so, I grew up with Toy Story. So I'm about Andy's age. Christopher Robin is like that. It'll have the same effect to people who are like 40 and 50, who grew up with Winnie the Pooh in the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that. So it's got that same level of you're going to feel nostalgic and personally have a attachment to Christopher Robin, because like, well, I was Christopher Robin when I was a kid. I could tell just from the audience, because there were people besides the guy almost dying, but there were people in the audience that I did see. There were people actually like, putting their hands down, like, oh my God, that person's crying. That person's crying. I mean, this really has an effect on me.
I mean, challenge accepted.
Yes.
Inside Out got me teary-eyed twice, so Christopher Robin has to beat it.
Coco got you teary-eyed too.
Oh yeah. The final song.
No.
I saw that very, very recently. I kept putting it off.
Yeah. No, there was we went to in March of 2018, it was still showing in downtown Disney's theater, and when it's played Remember Me at the end, I looked over at him and I saw him go like, and I was like,
for me,
human emotions.
You turn the spoilers off.
The German one.
But yeah, so Eddie.
Oh, you need more spoilers?
We didn't even get to the spoiler.
Oh yeah.
Good point. Actually, we didn't talk spoilers at all so far.
Welcome to the
sidetrack.
But yeah. So spoiler.
Yes, the spoiler is the scene that got me. Winnie the Pooh is on the little log, and it's during a scene where Winnie the Pooh has seemingly vanished, and Christopher Robin can't find him, and they eventually find each other again. And I can't remember the exact like word for word, but essentially the scene is Christopher Robin like comforting Pooh and talking about how he made a mistake and that he felt lost, and then Pooh just looks at him and says something like but I found you, Christopher, and they just hug, and I was just like, no, don't you dare. And
the water works.
It did. I like genuinely just this, oh my God, I'm in a theater, there's people here, a guy almost died.
So Mr. Kenobi was a good Christopher?
Oh, fuck you.
What? It's the meme.
I'm tired of the Kenobi memes. Ewan McGregor, you can turn it off now. As someone, as an addendum, and I think it's a fair comparison, because not only do they share the same studio, they also share an actor. The Beauty and the Beast remake, which I fucking hated
it's
for good
boring
reason.
as fuck.
Hated.
Did anybody tell Emma Watson that she's supposed to act like a lively young lady?
Did anyone tell Emma Watson that she can't fucking sing?
It's
Did anyone tell Emma Watson that when you play Beauty, at least, okay, when Beauty and the Beast, you know, it's been told numerous different times, but it's only fair for that movie to compare it to the Disney one because it's a remake of the Disney one.
It's a shot-for-shot remake.
In some cases, yes.
Shot for shot would mean the shots are similar. There's one fucking shot in that movie where I'm like, fuck you, you ruined that scene for, like, oh my god.
What scene is it? There's no spoilers here. This movie sucks.
Well, two scenes that they really, really ruined, but one that actually made me go, fuck you, was in the first scene in the movie where Belle meets the Beast, you know, in the dungeon with her father and everything.
Yeah, that scene.
Oh my god, this infuriated me. The famous scene in the movie, you know, step into the light, and it's you know, drawn out like he's hesitant for a bit, and then, you know, it starts with his foot going through, and then it pans up, and, you know, his face comes through, and you see her face, she's like, oh. And it's a beautifully done scene. What do they do in the fucking remake? She just shoves a fucking candle in his face, ruining all tension, ruining all build-up, all reveal. And I legit, my niece was watching this. She's only about 2 years old. I legit went, "Fuck you, fuck you! How can you?" She loved it. You could tell. She's like, "Hey, yeah." And apparently, my brother's girlfriend, my niece's mother. Because they're not married, but she had the greatest anecdote of watching that movie, where she said, "I've never seen him look so dead inside in my because I was apparently like this the whole time."
I mean, for me personally, the movie died 5 minutes in when there is like bonjour, bonjour. This one of the liveliest scenes, like this Kickstarter into
that. But it felt for something that also has a successful Broadway musical, it's very, very downplayed.
Yeah, and the worst part of it was Belle, while the entire song is about how she is so awkward, but she still, with her book in the hand, maneuvers through the city in the cartoon. In this one, she is like, with a book in the hand, like, oh look, flowers.
Because Emma Watson had such terrible stage direction for that fucking movie.
The other thing is,
the worst direction is in the Be Our Guest, because since it's all a digital display, which I don't have for the record, I don't have a problem with CGI. I do have a problem when the actress is fucking stone-faced throughout this. There are dishes dancing and singing. Fucking react to it.
At least clap. Come on.
Yeah, like if Belle in the cartoon, you know, she would dance a little. She would like, oh, look at that. Oh, like it was animated. There was animation. And here it's just Emma Watson. Like, I don't even think she was there for the day. I think they just had an image of her and they placed it there.
No, a cardboard cutout just sticking on the chair.
Cardboard cutout.
One of the promotional cutouts. But like, when I looked at the film, it just felt like they took the color palettes from the original film and turned down the saturation, up the contrast.
Definitely, like, oh my god, the movie is flat. It's flat in every regard. It's flat in acting, it's flat in singing, it's flat in color, it's flatly shot, and it's directed by a guy, Bill Condon, who I like, but he's very, very hit and miss. Like, he definitely has more misses than hits.
It looks like you're talking about Christopher Robin with the visual aid.
But yeah,
the original point was because of that. And because, you know, both films have Ewan McGregor. I hated Ewan McGregor in Beauty and the Beast. I thought it was like, wow, he did not do Lumiere justice. He actually really, really sucked. In this, he's phenomenal. And I don't exaggerate. I honestly think he deserves an award nomination.
Okay.
Like, I would say it's like, oh, it's not like, you know, what's like, he's not like Gary Oldman or Daniel Day-Lewis, like, oh, he got so, you couldn't see him. But it's just that his performance for me was so believable and so effective. I'm like, this deserves some recognition in some form. Hell, even Jim Cummings deserves something. He's also, I mean, he's poop.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't get any celebrity people to voice the...
Well, they kind of did. Well, there's an interesting thing, because Peter Capaldi plays Rabbit.
Yeah.
If people don't know, he was the last Doctor, and he's also from The Thick of It. I don't know what else people would know him from, but he's got a celebrity status, and it also has Toby Jones, who, if I recall, he's from the Harry Potter movies. Like they have like British celebrity.
But like Rabbit is a character that usually gets his voice switched out no matter the film.
Right. Well, literally, pretty much all of them got swapped out. There was actually Chris O'Dowd was originally supposed to play Tigger in this movie.
Oh.
Yes, and apparently I looked into this because when it was originally announced, it was like, oh, and Chris O'Dowd as Tigger. I went, the guy from the IT Crowd? That's interesting.
Oh.
I won't say it's a bad choice. It's just,
You already have Jim here, though. Like.
Well, one could make the argument there have been. Well, did anyone think Justin Timberlake could do a good Boo Boo?
That's a good point.
Like to me, it's like if I'm not there, so I don't know how it sounds. But apparently, they replaced him with Jim Cummings after a test screening because audiences didn't like him as Tigger, and they compared him to a British jester.
That must be so disheartening, being like, hey, people didn't like you. Bye.
Well, there was an interesting addendum to it. Like, they explained what the problem was. They actually had a blind woman watch the movie, and her problem was, she said, of all the characters, I didn't know which one was supposed to be Tigger.
Ah.
And I was like, that's an interesting way, because there are blind people that go see movies. They need to know, set the characters up. And Eeyore's simple. He's low bass and dreary, and they got Brad Garrett to that, who's actually played Eeyore before. This isn't even his first time playing the character.
Yeah. So you would recommend this movie?
Absolutely. Everyone should see it. Don't listen to the mixed reception. Judge it for yourself. It's really, really good. It's so far my favorite of the year. I don't know if anything's going to top it.
Fair.
It's fantastic, and I'm still thinking about it, and I might even see it multiple times thanks to AMC A-List. Subscribe today.
Well, then.
Yeah. So, this brings us to the question section, and for the first time ever, we have a theme song.
Ooh.
Time to ask the awkward cast. Let's see how long their sanity will last. They'll answer anything, both weird and forward, so long as the questions are always awkward. Question time.
Way too much effort into this.
Oh, it's question time. It's the Q&A. It's question time.
Rob, why did you make this?
Rebecca Sugar would be proud.
Rob, I thank you, but we do not deserve that much effort for our crappy Q&As.
Is that a debut?
Yes,
yeah.
He just sent it to me
Hey,
earlier.
I'm honored.
Yeah, Rob's a cool dude. He made a theme song for the cast itself. He made songs for our TF2 things. He made a diss track about it. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
But
I like him already.
Yeah. So first question from Starflash: if you could swap lives with any real life person, who would it be and why?
We had this one before, didn't we?
No, that would be if we switched lives with each other. What would we do in each other's bodies?
All those questions blur together in my head.
Okay, Chris, if you could switch lives with any real life person, who would you switch lives with?
Oh, God.
And let's just say you only could be this person for a day.
Oh, just a day? Oh, damn. Shoot.
No, because I know that you would probably be like, I want to be my celebrity crush so I can just have her body for all time.
So I could be
Her
inside
body?
her.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an interesting approach. So I could use it to just experience a day as a woman.
Yes.
Well, that's actually where my head was going. I was like, well, I definitely want to be a woman for a day, but I probably Anna Kendrick. Either her or Jeanette McCurdy, one of those two. Especially since they have money.
I mean, you want to enjoy your day as a woman, though, don't you?
I feel like you would become Jeanette McCurdy to just go to other Nickelodeon stars and be like, okay, was Dan Schneider remember Dan?
Well, I would probably have her memories. Of
oh
Dan
yeah.
Schneider.
Oh no. You would go into her body.
So I probably wouldn't
and
be going to Nickelodeon.
You would go into her body, and the first thing would be like, oh my god.
First of all, it was never proven.
But
just so we're clear and we don't get sued by anyone.
these are
involved
allegations.
Allegations, allegedly, and even so, we don't even have like proper allegations. No one's actually come out about it.
But like,
these are all just rumors.
Allegedly, Chris would go into Jeanette McCurdy's head and be like, "Oh no!"
I think to me the filthy side would be I'd be Anna Kendrick just so I could take nudes of myself because there are no nudes of Anna Kendrick, and then email them to my email. I own them. Hey, if you're only gonna have it for a day, take full advantage.
Hey, if you got outed, you could be like, you could just write the email to be like, to my best friend Chris.
Ooh.
This is.
And sign it with a kiss.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
What are your answers?
What about you?
I originally, because I have no
You would be in
imagination.
each other's bodies.
Nah.
No, we've already answered this question.
No, but because I don't have any imagination, I was actually not thinking about a woman originally. I was thinking like going into one of the Chris's, like
Chris Pratt,
Chris Hansfield,
this is
Chris.
what it's like to have muscles.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Is it like be handsome?
Hemsworth is Thor, right?
Hemsworth is 4.
Yeah, like Thor and being like in this, and because
Basically, you want to pick one of the Marvel boys.
I want to know how it feels to be a real Marvel boy. Or no, maybe I have to go with Ryan Reynolds, because because he has actually stolen his Deadpool costume, so I could run around as actual Deadpool.
You could run around as
Yeah.
He actually doesn't even wear it. He actually keeps it in his It's in the commentary. It's in his basement on a mannequin.
But
it's
still.
all like propped up and everything.
But it's there. I could go there and strip the mannequin and then put it
mail
on.
it,
So.
mail it to Berlin and put a letter to my best friend Max.
This is your whole idea is to basically
Steal your
blackmail
stuff.
people, just sending them to yourself, making
With
it
their
look
right
like
handwriting.
dotting every I, crossing every T. Like, I guess I sent it to this friend.
No, but
I've never heard of.
But in all honesty, he is such a cool dude for stealing it from the set in the first place. I would not want to steal from him.
Can you truly steal something by just walking off the set wearing it? But that's all he did. They said cut, wrap, and he was like, great, and he just left.
Did Ryan turn the suit to costume?
But
No.
for this action alone, he deserves to own it. That's why I would not
he
steal
even
it from
says
him.
like, I've waited 10 years, I'm leaving with a fucking suit.
Yeah, and that's perfect. But yeah, now that you guys throw in the idea of taking the body of a woman, I mean, obviously that would be also an amazing way to figure out, because this is the one big problem that no human ever can really grasp. Not even trans people, from what I've been told. You can never grasp what it is to really live in the body of the other sex. So
Are you coming out to us?
No. But that's the thing. It's basically for every single human out there the great mystery one of the great mysteries that we all share that we will never have answered. But being able to actually understand what it is. For one day, to be in the body of a woman, to understand how it feels with all the hormones, or the other way around.
Who are you gonna pick?
It also should be somebody sexually active, so that I can do complete set of research.
Uh-huh.
Now, does Chris Hemsworth have a wife or girlfriend?
I don't know.
You could go with Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Oh yeah, you can get fucked by Ryan Reynolds.
And then I could be like,
how would that feel?
Honey, could you put on the suit for me? We talked about
No, not that one. Put on your Green Lantern suit.
Oh, no. Wait, this is just CGI, so he's still naked.
No, he's just wearing a green screen.
He's just wearing a green bodysuit. Like Green Man
And there's
from
a
Sunny
hole
in
cut out,
Philadelphia.
like, just on the crotch.
Just for the dick.
But yeah, Keyframe, who is your pick for a body swap?
I'm thinking of a male and a female. Male?
That's called a she-male.
No, I'm thinking of 2 different options, Chris. Okay. If I was a male, I would be probably Chris Pratt.
In all fairness,
No. You know what? No. You know what? I would change this. I would be. I always get his name wrong.
Robert Downey Jr.
No, the guy who
Benedict
voices
Cumberbatch.
the guy who voices Dewey in DuckTales.
Ben Schwartz.
I want to be Ben Schwartz because he's in everything.
You know, there's a part of me that thought you would say, I want to be Danny Sexbang.
Well, oh, wait, this... Oh. Okay, fuck Ben
See,
Schwartz.
maybe I know you better than you do.
Fuck Ben Schwartz. Fuck Chris Pratt. I mean, fuck Chris Pratt. But fuck Chris Pratt. I want to be Dan Avidan, specifically switching bodies on a day that they do a grump session.
And also, you get to see his penis.
I mean, totally. I have to do the full
I
set of
imagine
research.
it's pretty long.
Okay, there's actually a great video. There's two. He has a music video called like Sex Lessons or something. Like it's one of their old music videos, and he wears one of those novelty underwears where it's like an elephant's trunk.
Right.
So you get a frame of reference, and then there's a picture that used to be on their Wikipedia page. Like they did a Game Grumps where they looked at their Wikipedia pages, see how much was right, and the image they got of Danny was he wasn't wearing a cup with the bodysuit, so you just saw the full shape of the donger.
And your eyes immediately went there.
I know, honestly I didn't know that until Danny pointed it out.
Wait, is this his kneecap or is this... Oh my god, it's still going!
Whoa, I wouldn't be too surprised. But no, okay, male Danny. Female... Okay, I have two answers, and one of them's really malicious. The good answer would be I would want to switch bodies with Betty White, because I just want to be an old person that gets away with everything.
Betty White is awesome.
Betty White can't have a controversy, because they would be like, oh, she's just old. You can't
Well, you would look at her and go, what? No.
Oh, Betty.
And the other?
I would be a certain voice actress, so I could go and just make her fat.
Tara Strong.
A certain voice actress, so I could make her fat.
Is it Tara Strong?
I would also just delete a bunch of tweets. I'll let people figure that out. But yeah, that would be my body swapping. Thank you for the question. Denim asks, what video game world from your childhood would you live in if you could?
What did I play in my childhood? I was Faxanadu. I would not want to live in the world. I love this game. It's completely underrated, but not the game.
Secret of Mana?
Oh, this is a good choice. I mean, Terra Enigma is basically our world with a bit of fantasy. Secret of Mana was pretty awesome. I mean, also Hyrule would be an option.
Which one?
Good. Good counter. Probably from Link in the Past.
Okay.
Which is the most fleshed out.
The one that actually has houses
without,
and chickens.
But without...
Well, okay, first of all, Hyrule does not have the houses. That's just the world. You're talking about Kakariko Village.
Nerd! You fucking dweeb.
Yeah.
Okay, if I could pick. The thing is, I played so many licensed games in my youth. I'm on Scooby-Doo. I would probably pick Delfino Plaza from Super Mario Sunshine. I just want to live on a beach, and that game looked fucking beautiful. And if I had a life where every time I go outside I hear da 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 da,
it like you feel good all the time.
I walk around all jaunty until the living paint tries to eat me, but then I'll be saved because, well. But Delfino Plaza or Wind Waker's land.
Ooh.
They have sexy bird people.
You goddamn furry.
Aren't you proud?
Why are all my friends furry trash?
I don't know.
Why are you not?
Well, because I want to make my parents proud.
Oh, Chris, you know that's impossible.
You review DVDs with a hand puppet.
They love my hand puppet, thank you.
Well, they love it more than me. But okay, what would be your video game world?
The problem with most of the ones I grew up with are like, I wouldn't want to live there because awful things are like. Yeah. I would say, oh, Midgar, but Midgar blew up, so I don't want to do. But I would say I would cheat a little and say I would want to live probably in like Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon, like something that already is kind. Well, like because they're life simulators, but they're lives I'd rather live because, one, in Animal Crossing, you can afford things because you can cheat and have a lot of money.
And he tries to make us believe he's not a furry when his favorite place would to be living in a city full of
You do know that you are the only
anthropomorphic-
human
Yes.
in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, but yeah,
I've
that's
seen
the
how much
point.
you like the dog secretary.
You are the only.
Her name is Isabel, and you will respect my queen.
Yes,
Nothing else
you
needs to be
are
said.
the only human surrounded by anthropomorphic beings.
Eventually, your needs will make you give in. But
Well, I have a secretary for that, don't I? That's the other thing in Animal Crossing. You're the bear.
He's a furry. Just because you don't have a persona doesn't protect you from being a furry.
his persona is that bear wolf thing on the Joey in the Midnight Drive-ins.
That's a werewolf.
It looks like a bear.
We know. We make a joke about that, actually.
But thank you for the question,
Yeah.
Denim. Oh, this one's specifically for Chris.
Ooh.
Why don't you read it, because it has your favorite word in it.
From Enigma Prince to Aficionado.
There you go. You got it the second time. You're learning.
He has, like, consistently said NATO. Like, I'm not Sharknado, okay?
Chris NATO is just a bunch of Blu-rays.
What are your favorite movies from every category, from best to worst, and what would you say about A&Y and Keith's taste in cinema movies, experience, and viewing?
Okay, so I guess categories like genre, so comedy, musical, drama.
Okay. I want to try and run that one quick. My favorite comedy of all time is The Big Lebowski.
Fuck.
Okay, worst comedy
Yes,
you've ever seen.
Worst comedy I've ever. Oh God, I mean it's cliche, but I could easily say one of those like Friedberg Seltzer parody movies because I've actually seen them.
Oh boy.
And
those suck.
they're bad. But I'm sure there's worse comedies out there. But just on the spot, like yeah, nothing really matches that. I guess I'd say my favorite drama. I hope it counts as drama because it's my favorite movie of all time, which is M. It's a Fritz Lang film from 1931 because I'm a pretentious art film lover. Not really art films, but that's my favorite. The worst drama, I couldn't tell you because I genuinely try to not see that many. Like the bad movies I see, I usually seek out like the cult bad movies. Mm-hmm. Stuff like stuff like The Room and Birdemic, which I own on Blu-ray, both of them.
But Chris, what about the best movie of all time?
Love on a Leash. I found a DVD copy of that.
Oh my god, there's a DVD copy?
There is. And the
when-
amazing thing about the DVD, it does not have the missing music. It actually has music in there.
So
Is
the
it-
Amazon Prime download.
The
doesn't-
Amazon Prime version's broken.
So, is there going to be a aficionado review coming for
Oh
this?
no!
I don't know about
here's-
aficionado review, but an
here's-
aficionado review, maybe.
Here's the context of this. I showed him the first 2 minutes at Too Many Games, and he stopped the movie and he was like, "I found like 15 problems in the first 2 minutes. I need to review this."
Ah, nice.
Hence why I was looking for a DVD.
You
One of the
need-
ones I am working on would be, since it's dog related, Vampire Dog.
Ooh,
Wait,
Sorry.
what?
This is Vampire Dog.
already promising.
It stars Norm Macdonald, who's the only celebrity in this movie.
Oh my god. Okay, so what do you
That's-
think of our tastes in movies and cinema?
Well, I don't know much about A&Y's taste, really. But I mean, he hasn't offended me yet. As far as Key, she can be questionable sometimes.
Oh,
Otherwise,
what's my questionable choices?
the Scooby-Doo stuff, Shrek the Third.
I don't like Shrek the
There's one there.
Third.
You basically said you didn't hate it that much.
I liked it in a so bad it's good kind of way.
I remember when you said, well, there was one funny bit, and I grabbed you and shook you in place, saying, "Where? Where is it?"
Okay, I remember that. All right, well, thank you, Enigma. What? Yeah, what's a good one?
Oh yeah, this one actually.
Okay.
From Lupus, do you have a favorite ancient philosopher? Who would that be and why that person? I guess in case we are, I mean, I know that I'm not fluent in Socrates and other ancient philosophers, Plato. I would say in general, do you have a favorite philosopher? Maybe the older the better, so that you don't pick somebody who's still alive. I don't know. I mean, if your favorite philosopher is still alive, go ahead. You still have to explain yourself. So,
I mean, I like philosophies, but I don't have a specific philosopher.
I mean, okay. I'm already tempted to say that it's awkward and go to the post show, but I actually have an answer.
Oh, what's your answer?
No, my answer would probably, once again, I don't know many, so this is kind of, I picked from the three I'm actually familiar with. No, but there's actually one that resonates well with me, which would be Immanuel Kant. Spelled K-A-N-T. For you.
So Kant.
Immanuel Kant is, he was a German fellow, so it is spelled K-A-N-T. Get your mind out of the gutter, Chris.
Don't tell the person don't tell the sex addict to get his mind out of the gutter.
Don't tell the man who made a movie called Cunt to get it out of the gutter.
Oh wait, yeah, you did make a movie. We'll talk about that in the post show, but yeah. So why is Kant your favorite?
He is. I mean, he is a member of the Enlightenment movement, which still I think is a horrible name in English, but there is no other than Enlightenment movement. So basically, rational thinker. He's one of the rational thinkers who pushed rational thinking forward, and he also introduced the concept of the categorical imperative, which basically translates to in layman's terms to don't do stuff you don't want other people do to you, which is actually a motto I live by. Like a little bit of a twitched version, because he has it more like as the name says, a categorical imperative. Like he basically advocates a world where a non-offensive world, which is not my world. Mine is like, hey, if you can deal out shit, you also have to be able to take shit. This kind of moral. Like you
don't bark if you can't bite.
Yeah, for example, I mean, on the other hand, I don't want to be robbed, therefore I don't steal. I don't want to be stabbed, therefore I don't go around murder people. So on a bigger level, it still works on the same level as Emmanuel's version, but on a lower level, it's more like, yeah, it's fine to be an asshole, but you have to be able to take it away that other people are also assholes to you.
Okay, so yeah, what about Chris? Do you have a philosopher or a philosophy that you follow?
Winnie the Pooh.
So basically Buddhism, thank you.
That works.
I will argue Winnie the Pooh says a lot of philosophical things.
Yeah, no, he's based on Buddhism. No shit. He is literally based on Buddhism. The original books are based on Buddhist teachings.
Oh.
Well, I'm keeping my answer, Winnie the Pooh.
Fair enough.
I was gonna make the joke of Sally from Charlie Brown, because she has the song "My New Philosophy." Hey, you know the Charlie Brown musical.
I have the feeling you need this now, Chris.
I'm sorry, Chris. You just have to. Oh, wait, it goes like this. Deal with it. I don't own these. These are his.
I didn't buy them.
That doesn't make it better.
I got them as a present.
But no, I guess my philosophy that I follow is I don't know if a philosopher says it or is it just a way of life, but it's my. Everyone thinks that like I'm a blind optimist or a very big cynic, depending on what mood you get me in when I'm talking to you. But my general mood is something that's more like positive nihilism, in that you are not put on this earth with a purpose. You have to make that for yourself. You give life as much meaning as you. Life has as much meaning as you give it. You have as much purpose in this world as you give it. There is no such thing as destiny. There is no such thing relating to that. You know what you have inherited through genetics. you know the skill sets that you could practice and go for, because natural talent is a fucking myth.
Did you just dab that?
That was no. See, some people can have predisposed talent, but if they don't do anything within, they're just like, oh, I'm just going to sit on my laurels and not. Someone who doesn't have the predisposed talent can advance their skill set through learning and practice, and be better than the person that had the natural born.
Agreed.
Right.
Point is, my philosophy is like, don't think that you are destined for something or you're not fulfilling a greater purpose unless you yourself has said, no, this is my purpose, this is what I want to be. Because when you feel like that there's this greater road that you have, that you are not succeeding, not fulfilling for some bigger power, you feel like you've accomplished less and you're insignificant. I used to have that mentality, but now I'm like, no, my purpose is to make myself happy and make the people I care about happy, and to just live a good life and work on the things that I enjoy. And that is my purpose, and that is what I make. So there's nothing wrong with being a nihilist. So, yeah, that's
and
my...
And yet you will never be elected to any political stand in the US. Because they are afraid of everybody who is not religious.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised no one mentioned Alan Watts.
Who?
Oh my god.
Well, okay, maybe we've heard...
Have you never had Anthony on the show? He loves Alan Watts.
We have not had Anthony because he lives in goddamn Australia.
Yeah, same reason why we don't have had Cloud Cuckoo Country yet, even so he's on the list.
Yeah, so...
No, Alan Watts is great to listen to. He's a British philosopher that Anthony introduced me to, actually.
Huh.
Because he's Anthony, and he's philosophical in and of himself.
My favorite philosopher is Anthony Cannon, but that was actually a really interesting question. Thank you, Lupus.
Yes.
Talking about Lupus, there's another one which might be a nice last one.
Okay, ANY and Keyframe. If I remember correctly, you plan to recreate an image of Keyframe's art for the AWKWARDcast, under the assumption that, indeed, I remember that correctly, and additionally, I am just not anymore aware of that being already resolved or recreated. Have you recreated said artwork? If not, well then this question is perhaps a somewhat useful reminder. If you already recreated it, well then the question could probably... Are they talking about the awkward art that I made an update for 2018?
Yeah, I assume, I mean, we see the update up there.
They're talking about... Okay, context for Chris.
Yes.
The original artwork for Awkward, before we even knew that the name was going to be Awkward, was just this really calm picture of ANY's human and my human, and it looked really cool. And when we did our first AWKWARDcast in person when I was here, we took a live-action recreation. I don't want that picture up because that was when I was bigger.
Fair. I can't find it anyways. Oh wait, there it actually would be.
But so yeah, but we haven't done a recreation of this one because, as you can see on the picture, we're tied up in wire that's connecting to the awkward sign.
I mean, the old picture was tricky enough because she literally needed to click the...
I had to click it with my toe. It worked.
It did work, but I don't see this work with a toe.
But no, see, the thing was, in the original sketch of this picture, I sent it to him and he was like, hey, can you change a few things? Because, she's kind of bent a little bit, which it was supposed to be, you know, like, so they can look over at each other. But having a bent upper torso and not seeing what's going on downstairs, and then wire wrapping around, still doesn't work with these two people being wrapped around with awkward-looking faces.
Yeah, the original design...
The original design didn't have the problem of... the first awkward art didn't have this issue. We would just look all cool and collected, and we were like, that doesn't represent the show. This does represent the show better.
Yeah,
I agree. Yes,
but yeah, the first sketches for the second design they were a bit awkward.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The meme is seen on this live stream and talk about random crap. It's time for AWKWARDcast. Random guests and funny gags is the AWKWARDcast. Artists and analysis, you do not want to miss. It's the awkward cast. It's the awkward cast.